Welcome back, everybody. This is JP Trades. Let's jump back into another Bitcoin trade recap. We had another amazing day in the VIP Discord. We had some very, very nice trade setups hit today. And I do want to let y'all know for a limited time, we are opening the VIP Discord section for free. That's right. 100% free VIP members. Currently, if you follow the link in the description, come on over and join us. So what we're looking for today, let's actually take it back to yesterday because we were actually building more context through this entire range and even yesterday on Bookmap. And let's first start with our market structure here. So we had our daily high right here at this daily. So, and it was also the previous month high. So I was telling everyone in the Discord to watch out for a potential SFP of this level. Let's go ahead and actually just mark our range out. So low to high. And we see our range that we are paying attention to and focusing on as our context. So where in location are we at? We have a tap 1, tap 2, tap 3, model 1 Wyckoff into our nice order block of supply. So we are now framing the trades and framing the context of what we want to see next in our trading plans. So I was telling everyone in the Discord since yesterday, and we did take this trade as well yesterday, of the SFP of this high. We were all looking for really 3 different scenarios to happen right here. Number 1 was an SFP of this high here into this order block that had inducement. Number 2 was to see a nice follow through, a break above this high with a candle close, back test, and then long for a new high. Potentially getting up here, maybe hitting this supply, taking these highs, going to the moon, whatever, right? So that clearly didn't happen. Scenario number 3, which would have also been a very, very nice scenario since we do see liquidity building up below us in this liquidity wave. We have old lows sitting here for a long time now. It's previous month low. So I do think we can have a little bit more max pain if we at least take out some of these lows. So that was really kind of my context behind this SFP trade. But let's go over the third scenario next because, hell, maybe it could still potentially happen, right? You never know. We did have some nice buyback here today, which we will go over in just a minute on a lower time frame. So let's go over that third scenario. The third scenario beyond the SFP and just the break and retest was to come up here, spend a little time here, have a nice manipulation above this range, and then follow back through with the distribution. And what do I mean by that? Let's actually zoom out so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So in this downtrend, the context of what I'm saying is that you have a redistribution pattern here, just like that. So now that we have that framed, let's go to Bookmap really quickly. And again, this was in the Discord. This is the VIP, what you'll get in VIP section as a VIP member. And again, it is free for a limited time. We saw yesterday, this was the wick of yesterday's high that we had almost 2,000 Bitcoin getting tracked. And at this moment in time, I was looking for that to happen and confirm. So I was looking to trap these big players here at the top. Or not necessarily big players, but big volume of longs at the top. Now you can see here, I was commenting on this and how many Bitcoin were sitting there at the top or in the wick of that candle. And then we come to today and I was framing again, pretty much exactly what I was going over with you in the beginning of this video. I was also saying that we have some mega liquidity areas down here, but that's so far away. We don't really have to worry about that right now until we really start breaking inside this range. And I was framing the Model 1 Wyckoff here again, the SFP, the redistribution model. There you see. And let's get into the actual short trade that we took today. So here's all where it started. So we were able, and we'll go down on a 1 hour time frame. So you see that now we're on the 1 hour time frame, that this was that top of that daily candle. So knowing that in the context of that daily SFP or swing failure pattern, I was going to try and refine down an entry to short to see if we would get that commitment and follow through from trapping those players, right? So I was telling everyone to look for that retest and to take it down. Of course, I really wanted to go lower to fill both of the CME gaps, but we didn't quite get that far, and that's all right. However, so we actually entered in, well, I actually entered in right around here in these wicks. And how can you get such an aggressive entry? Number one, you have to have the context, which we've already built. You have to have some levels, which we had. We had an internal SFP right here. This is a order block as well. And the next thing I was looking for, and if you want to use some more traditional stuff, you can also look here that, hey, yes, you did have a golden zone as well, or you were just in the premium section of the smaller local range. So that's where I was looking for, somewhere to take liquidity of a lot of this London session highs here, and then sweep back down below VWAP, and then lose VWAP, and then try to find as much follow through in this move as I possibly could. So again, how do we get in those wicks? The answer and the magic lies in Bookmap. This is the only way I know how, and I've tried everything with tons of different software, tons of different techniques, and with high probability, this is the best way to get aggressive entries. So what was I looking for here? Again, let's frame this. We have already trapped all these buyers here, and you can see 2,200, 2,300. So almost 5,000 Bitcoin sitting at the top trapped. And we start to come down, and then the pushes back up. We see some heavy levels of liquidity sitting here. And we have a lot of buying on the retest zone that we were already looking at, the retest level that we were looking to short. So once we saw even more buyers get here, you also know in the back of your head that the psychology of these buyers here, and when they see price come back to their entry or close to their entry, that gives them a chance to break even, get out of their trade and stop sweating, because all this time overnight, a lot of these people who were still in their trades, well, some of them could have gotten liquidated out if they had a very tight stop loss, but others potentially were waiting in the red, sweating buckets, waiting for price to come back so they could relieve themselves of the pressure of a loss. So again, context building. You see this liquidity here. You see liquidity getting soaked up in bulls right here. So it's baiting you up higher. And then you can see the absorption, just like we saw here. And through that, I was looking at CBD at this hidden bearish divergence here. And I was waiting for price to get below these trapped buyers. There's also other ways you can do this and really zoom in. And you can zoom in to a very tight resolution, very small resolution here on Bookmap. That's where the magic happens. This is where we can get very, very tight, aggressive refi entries. Why is that important? Well, if you can get an entry in these wicks here, that means you can have a tighter stop loss, whether you're putting your stop loss above the trapped buyers or even this high, this previous high. Either is fine. Or maybe you just want it above a nice level like the previous month high. So that allows us to put more on the trade because we have a tighter stop loss with the same amount of risk. Number two, it allows you to be able to move your stop loss on the first move down and to break even or even in profit to fully de-risk your trade and create a full free trade. So now you can just sit back, relax, and trading becomes stress-free at that point. That is the beauty of order flow and getting advanced aggressive entries. And that's what we teach over at JP Trades is advanced execution concepts here. So you can come back here and you can see the entry. You can see when I moved my stop loss once we broke below VWAP and I wanted to see follow through. We did have two levels of demand here and here. I did take a little bit of profits out as I always do. I was also watching the weekly and monthly VWAPs. We had a very nice touch of the weekly VWAP here. Then we back tested the daily VWAP. We then lost the weekly to come down to the monthly VWAP. And again, this entire time, I'm also watching aggregated VWAP, but I'm also watching Bookmap to see the commitment of the traders. I want to see the strength and the follow through of what's going on as I'm managing the trade. And this is where a lot of people get tripped up is that they think order flow is just all about execution or all about entries. It is not. It is much, much more than that. It goes much deeper than that. Anyways, we did end up losing that monthly VWAP, and then we back tested that monthly VWAP perfectly. So even if you didn't get in at the wicks that I did, you could have got in here on the back test of the daily VWAP, as well as the back test of the monthly VWAP. And we did end up coming on down, and we ended up closing our trade right around the naked point of control. And this was over here. You look at your TPO or market profiles, and you can see that we had a naked point of control. That is one of my favorite levels. It was actually a lot more than that, but we won't get into that. However, you can also see on TPO or market profiles, when we first came down here, we hit the time point of control. Then we bounced back to the value area low. Value area, the previous day value area low. So we did actually find support here as well, resistance here. And then we came on down. And this gray candle here, we actually found support on this value area high. You see how that works? Then it finally broke down to the negative point of control and had a massive pump from there. Great reclaim, right? So this is a lot, but this is many, many layers that I use and many, many tools and how we get very aggressive trades, get very aggressive scalps, but also the ability to turn scalps into further or bigger day trades and even into swing trades. We always leave runners where context, where it applies, obviously. Context has to align. So I also do want to mention that the two other trades we had given out in advance were also hit. One was right here, and the other was that naked point of control trade. We had a lot of confluence on both of these levels. They were great locations and great levels to have a potential trade set up at. I didn't take these trades. Of course, I was sleeping in London and I had given up trading for the day after I had made that nice profit. So unfortunately, I'm actually quite jealous. I did not actually take this trade because these setups right here, and I'm not going to go into the details of it, but these setups are one of my favorite setups. And I should have taken that trade. But I know a couple of you did in the Discord. My hat's off to you. Congratulations. And again, we have our 3 VIP Discord members for a limited time. You can come in, join. I'll upgrade you for free into the VIP section, and you will get our daily trading plans, our levels, my live in the moment commentary, just like I showed you in the Discord here. And you can see how I'm updating everything. You can see our trades. You can see how they pan out, as well as a lot more to come with educational content and courses and a very, very, very unique education system. More on that later. So come and join us, and I'll check you all later.